Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Fitria Septyani. Today I will present the result of my PowerPoint about the situation of the Arabs before Islam. The first situation is social situation. Before the advent of Islam, the Arabs were directly influenced by the two great world powers. They are the Roman and Persian empires. According to ideology, the Romans adhered to the worship of Jesus, while the Persians adhered to the worship of the Magi. These two kingdoms have morals and ethics that are far from human or inhuman. However, from a political point of view, these two kingdoms have great and broad power. In the pre-Islamic era, the Romans were divided into two parts of power. There are Western Romans based in Rome and the Eastern Romans based in Constantinople. The Romans are grouped into two classes. They are honorable class and general class. The honorable class having a decent life, having their needs met, getting special treatment from the Roman king, and being given special privilege. General class treat unfairly in difficult situation in terms of the economy. People with the general class are difficult in everything including trade. King Justinian was the king of Rome at the time who burdened the general class. He enforced the tax system by monopolizing and not infrequently also used violence and coercion. The condition of small farmers even experienced a bad life because they had to depend on the power of big farmers. Not a few small farmers were robbed of their crops, houses were burned, and not infrequently their plantations were destroyed even to the point of bloodshed. Rome inherited development in the field of law, art, literature, and architecture as well as language. In the field of architecture, the Romans discovered concrete that has the ability to withstand a building strength. In its relics still exist today. For example, the Colosseum. Second situation is culture situation. Arab society is divided into two major groups, namely city dwellers and desert dwellers. City dwellers that have a definite place to live know the procedures for managing agriculture and trade. And desert dwellers, the nomadic place to live, not familiar with trade and agriculture, their livelihood is herding. During the Jahiliyyah era, slavery was also rampant. Slaves were treated unfairly and inhumanly. They don't get the freedom to live properly. Even their masters torture and kill their slaves. From this situation, Allah sent Prophet Muhammad SAW to improve the moral of the Arab population, which is far from polite. Arab geographical conditions have a great influence on the psyche of Arab society. Arabia as a barren region can protect its people from attacks by enemies outside, and this barrenness makes Arab people as nomads. Their freedom in the desert makes them passionate and independent and individualistic. Since the days of ignorance, the Arabs have had positive personality. They are brave, strong memory, friendly, excellent physical endurance, and a simple life pattern. According to Arabic literature, there is one tradition that can be used as evidence that the Arabs were familiar with writing. Evidence by the discovery of a tradition in the pre-Islamic period called al-Mu'allaqat, that means poetry. its emergence around the 6th century BC. As beautiful work of literary art with a honorable name because it is written in gold ink and hung on the walls of the Kaaba. Recorded in history, there are only 7 names of the best poetry and poems ever hung on the walls of the Kaaba. The third situation is economic situation. Economic progress began to reach its peak after the Hurmua archipelago was controlled and the port of Qumrun was changed to Bandar Abbas. With the control of the city, the agriculture sector also experienced progress, especially in the Fertile Crescent region, the strategic geographical location of Persia, and some of its fertile areas were referred to as the Fertile Crescent region. This made the international world's eyes at the time focus on Persia. When the Prophet Muhammad SAW born, the city of Mecca is very important and famous city among other cities, because the city of Mecca is a strategic city and bustling trade route, which connects Yemen in the south and Syria in the north. In addition, there was an economy in the marine sector before the Islamic religion. Greek explorers had learned of the seasonal winds from the Arabian mariners. The Arab mariners waited for strong winds to come from the north to serve as their sailboats headed south, namely from the Red Sea to India and East Asia, after which they waited for strong winds to blow in the opposite direction so that they could return to their homeland. The Arab mariners developed an astrological instrument from Greece called the astrolabe, which is used to measure the height of stars and planets. The Arab mariners also used other tools, such as theodolite. The function of this tool is to measure the center and flat angles in determining the distance and height of an object. Okay, thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.